member and a parent of the law.
Ryan Marsh,
Hi, I'm Lynn Torres. I'm a coordinator for mental health and behavior services.
Hi, I'm Melanie Williams. I'm coordinator for school counseling in Athens.
Thank you for being here. Go ahead and introduce yourself here at the table.
I'm April for Christensen. I'm the other chair.
Sylvia Mosqueda, the secretary. I'm the counseling department assistant.
And I'm Sandra Leak, the SHAC advisor.
And I already introduced myself at the beginning. All right, the vision and mission of SHAC, we envision a future where healthy lifestyle, knowledge, and practices are integrated throughout the community for students and their families to achieve the highest potential of success. Our mission is to promote healthy lifestyle choices and to create a climate of wellness for all staff, children, and their families in the CFBISD community. Since there is no old business for us to conduct, we'll move on to new business. Our first presentation tonight is by the Dallas County Health and Human Services on chronic disease prevention. So you guys are going to get started. Don't know how to work this very well.
You can all hear me, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Bannon, and like I said, I'm with Dallas County Health and Human Services, and I'm also here with our program manager, Baldwin Shaw, like he said over there. And it is a pleasure to be here tonight to share with you our chronic disease prevention programs that we have available for free to all our Dallas County residents. So for today, we're going to focus on the tobacco cessation program. This is also a program that aims to work with people that are smoking, and then we want to help them quit smoking. But then for tonight, we'll focus also on teens, because we're trying to reach out to all children in Dallas County, especially middle high school, to prevent them from picking up e-cigarettes. So the focus of our presentation today is to go over this and then to also let you know what Dallas County is doing over this issue. So to get us started, this is what I'm going over. Yes, so we're going to discuss what tobacco is and what nicotine is, what e-cigarettes are, also about sporting e-cigarette use or vaping in our children. Also, we're going to talk about harms of vaping, sporting e-cigarette use or vaping, and then also we'll go on to talk about preventing vaping. And then we finalize what Dallas County is doing to help our children in Dallas County. So, as you know, tobacco is a plant, but it has over 7,000 cancer-causing chemicals. The use of tobacco harms every organ in our bodies, can cause cancer, can cause COPD, emphysema, different kinds of ailments that can really shorten our lifespan. So nicotine is the most nicotine is the most addictive ingredient that is available in tobacco, affects our brains just to become dependent on just functioning on tobacco. So some tobacco products have flavoring added to them. This is what is being targeted towards our children to just entice them to be buying tobacco products in the form of the e-cigarettes. But then also tobacco is used in different ways, in cigars, pipes, hookahs, gums of the mouth. Some other people also chew, and you can also inhale it through your nose. So moving on to e-cigarettes. E-cigarettes are battery-powered vehicle devices that you can use to heat up a liquid that is called e-juice. The e-juice contains nicotine. So electronic cigarettes are also called e-cigarettes. These include vapes, hookahs, there's pens and juice, and then they are also inhaled like regular cigarettes, but they produce an aerosol or like a cloud of nicotine or any other substances that are included in them. Many e-cigarettes resemble everyday items like USBs, flash drives, watches, or tubes of lipstick. But it's also important to actually define what vaping is. Vaping is consuming tobacco and other addictive substances through using e-cigarettes. So as you can see on the picture there, those are like vaping devices that are used. You have Johnson modes, you have rechargeable e-cigarettes. They really look like a mouse. They could be in front of you in a classroom. You wouldn't even know what that is because they look so sleek, they look so cool for most children. So it's really confusing for most people to pick up what these devices are if they're in front of you. So moving on to talk about the harms that e-cigarettes are causing. According to the CDC, e-cigarettes contain all these harmful ingredients, including formaldehyde, and then also alkaline, which can cause irreversible lung damage. And then also they can cause, e-cigarettes are also used for the delivery of marijuana and other illicit drugs, which can also be harmful for the developing brains of our students, young children. And then also e-cigarettes are also known to have caused permanent lung injuries or even death. We've had a few cases in Dallas County where we've heard issues on the news that some students have had permanent lung injuries because of vaping. And then also the FDA has found that e-cigarettes are not safe and they are not even effective in helping people quit, because there is also some misconception that e-cigarettes are not harmful. Other people think that, okay, if I'm using an e-cigarette, it's going to help me quit using combustible cigarettes. They kind of like think that is a safe alternative, but it's not, because e-cigarettes also contain nicotine. And then also, according to the CDC, they go on to say that most children who use e-cigarettes are likely to transition to using more harmful substances, and also just moving on to using combustible cigarettes as they are getting older, which also damages their health much further. So, like I said, there's so many misconceptions. Lots of young people think vaping is safe, but it's not. So there is also lack of communication about harms of e-cigarettes. This is why lots of people use them, and also most kids are trying vaping because they're curious about these flavors that are being targeted towards them. There's plenty of them, like you get strawberry flavors, you get like candy, peach, all of this like really enticing flavors. And then also peer influence is also a huge challenge in our children, because it looks like, okay, if you're using a vape, it's making you look cool, it's going to make you feel embraced in a crowd. So that's also a challenge that our children are coming across, and then you find that more kids are vaping because they're just moving along with the flow. And then also, like I said, devices are seen as trendy, like a status symbol. There is also easy access to e-cigarettes. So all children pretty much are at risk of trying e-cigarettes, because some can also access them online. There also has to be policing around like age limits, and then also, you know, like just to make it harder for people to purchase those things. So it's always important to educate our kids that e-cigarettes are not safe at all. And then also, like I was saying, they are really hard to spot. Like I said, these are like everyday school supplies. They do not look like cigarettes at all. Our children go to the bathrooms, they sneak those e-cigarettes in there, or even at home. And then also, I don't know if you're familiar, but there is a lot of clothing these days that is also designed to hide vapes. Like some hoodies, you know, they could have like a string that goes around there, but you can insert a vape in there and just act like you acting normal. Some water bottles are also having like room for you to insert a vape in, and you look like you're drinking water, but you're vaping. There is also like different backpacks that are also made to hide vapes. So I think I'll be sending you like some pictures of these backpacks, because parents find these things like they're trendy, but they're really designed to make sure that kids are hiding their vapes really well. So I'll be sending you that. So it's important for you to know our parents, obviously, are signs of that your child is vaping. So there'll be presence of unfamiliar technology, like online shopping packages coming to your door. They'll be like, oh, I found this, this is why I like this. And then also, there'll be smelling of this sweet and fruity scent. You think it's harmless, but it's vape. And then also, obviously behavior and mood changes. This comes across teenage life. So it can also be confusing if your child is vaping because you just think, oh, they're just having, adolescence issues, they are teenagers. But sometimes vaping also induces mood changes. They will also be irritable, they'll be restless, and then they'll cut back on caffeine, and then also they have desire for flavor due to taste bud degradation. Some others come off with pneumonia. But a lot of the kids also, you would know that they're vaping because they have increased thirst. So that's another thing to look out for. And then others are unfortunate to constantly have nosebleeds as well. So it's important to know what we can do to prevent children from vaping. As parents, we always encourage them to talk to the children about why e-cigarettes are harmful. And then also just encourage parents to set a good example by being tobacco-free and ensure that the children are not exposed to secondhand emissions from any tobacco products, both within the house or maybe in a car that they're riding with their parents. That also affects children with asthma as well, so it's always important to make sure that these children are protected from secondhand smoke. But also, as children are in high school, they kind of know everything. So it's always important to set up an appointment with their doctor so they can also communicate to them about the dangers of e-vaping. Because sometimes information coming from a healthcare provider makes a difference to their lives. And then also we encourage children to participate in vaping prevention education sessions that are offered in the schools because that's where they learn more about all these upcoming. It's not a trend, but it's a bad trend. They also learn how to cope with any challenges associated with being encouraged to vape. They kind of learn through those social groups to pick up alternative behaviors that promote their own health and their wellness. And then also, I have a website on there. It's teen.smokefree.gov. It's a very good resource for children to be able to access that because it provides them with tips on how they can navigate everyday teen challenges, learn about e-vapes, and also be able to access mental health resources or whatever is bothering them. So it's kind of tailored to teens to be able to make sure to encourage them to interact on there. So, to help with this problem, as Dallas County, we offer us e-cigarette vaping cessation program, and the curriculum we use for that is American Lung Association, and it's called Not on Tobacco. This is offered for free of charge to all students aged between 14 to 19, so that's middle school, high school, and it is evidence-based. It has 10 sessions, 15-minute sessions, which are conducted in small groups led by a certified facilitator. And then just the goal is to help participants reach a smoke-free or vape-free life. You can also design the program or the sessions to be done in person, or they can also be virtual. So at this point, I'll be more than happy to take any questions that you may have. But before I do that, we're also showing you other programs that we have in our chronic disease prevention program, the asthma control program, and also diabetes prevention program. And our contact information is as is on there. So at this point, if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to take them. Thank you. Yes.
The programs that you guys offer, our district is comprised of at least two big counties, Dallas and Denton. And we have students who maybe reside in Denton County. Do they still have access to these free programs as a student in the district?
Yes, so what can answer that question better?
Our mandate is for the Dallas County, but I don't see us kind of not offering that service if someone really requests it as part of your ISD. So most likely we would accept those students.
Do you know if these programs are also offered in Denton County?
Not sure.
Oh, thank you.
There are similar programs in Carrollton County.
Okay.
action we could take? Thank you so much for having us.
Okay, guys. Well, next, and again, thank you, Ms. Amanda. We really appreciate that. That was very informative. We have Lynn Torres with CFB Mental Health Behavior Coordinator, and Melanie Williams with CFB School Counseling and Avid Coordinator, both presenting on social emotional learning, SEL curriculum subjects to opt in to help with provisions of Senate Bill 9.
Thank you. Good evening. Sorry. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit about what Senate Bill 9 entails because it's kind of changed things in the SEL world for us. Senate Bill 9 is also known as the Blubaugh Act. And Christine was a precious 16-year-old that was in a dating violent relationship, and her ex-boyfriend ended her life. And because of that, her family rallied together with the police officers that did the investigation on the case, and they pushed through legislation in order to help our young people understand what dating violence looks like and to be able to avoid it. So it is the part that is involved with SHAC is that appropriate grade levels and curriculum regarding the subjects of child abuse, family violence, dating violence, and sex trafficking, including warning signs that a child may be at risk for sex trafficking. Recommendations are made by the SHAC committee to the board. So what we do is we look through lots and lots of curriculum, and we look for things that we think would be good for the district, and then we present it to SHAC, to your committee, and you all look through it and you decide if it's something that you like, if it's something that we need to make tweaks to, or what's going to be good for our student body. So the interesting thing about this bill is that it mandates that we provide this curriculum, and it used to be that if parents didn't want their kiddos to see the curriculum, you would opt out. But now, they've changed the law so that everybody has to opt in, which means that we have to get really creative with making sure that parents understand how important it is that we do this education, and find multiple ways to communicate that through every available means that we have so we can get permission back. We don't want the number of kids to drop that are receiving this information, but we are going to continue to try to get permission once you have approved the curriculum. So the curriculum that you're going to look at, Melanie, you want to talk about it?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. So we had to find a way to categorize this because we have curriculum from kindergarten all the way to grade 12. And all of these topics fit into what we would call personal safety for students. And so we have it for guidance counselors in order to give lessons to students in the classrooms. It could be done in the form of an assembly to the students whose parents have opted in, but it's also in other places. And so we look through everything to figure out where all the pieces are that might even be closely related to this, so we can make sure we have approval of all those pieces. There are 2 career and technical education courses that include some of this material. One of them is the Human Growth and Behavior course that's been offered for a while. And then we have a brand new course at Creekview, the Counseling and Mental Health course. And in both of those courses, there's content on child abuse, dating violence, domestic violence. So it's about 2 hours and 45 minutes or so to review one of the courses and 45 minutes for the other because of the content that's in there. There's lesson plans, handouts, videos, podcasts. We've provided everything so that you can take a look at that. It's also in some of our health curriculum as a supplement, the NEST curriculum. And so we've had that in the past, but we want to present it to you for review so that we can continue to offer that. Texas School Procedures is like a consulting firm for it's not just for school counseling, it's for school districts, and they provide presentations and a lot of great things. And they do these from research-based approaches. So Texas School Procedures is our main curriculum, is what I would say, for these lessons. They created the personal safety new this year to include all 4 of the topics. And they are done very respectfully, but we still want everyone to take a look at it. Also, one of our elementary school counselors has taken the material and put it into what we would say is really engaging activities and the crafts with it, so the students can take the materials home and talk about it with their parents. So because that differs from the Texas School Procedures version, we also wanted to submit that for review. And then last week, I was at a council meeting, and we used to offer Mental Health America curriculum in our school district years ago. We've got some materials up from that, some really great methods, but it was back in the DCHHS and kind of days. And so they've now put videos online, they've updated things. They said that they could give us a scholarship for counselor training and for use of their materials if we wanted to do that. So because that was last week, the representative has given us almost all of the materials. We'll have all of them soon, but we'd like to reinstate just a couple of those lessons. We have reviewed the ones that were given to us for grades 3 through 12, and there are 2 that we would recommend. The others, we really just looked at what they presented in the scenarios and everything, and felt like the 2 we've selected would be good supplemental lessons should we need them. And then we've talked about all of that. So on this chart here, we tried to estimate how much time it would take to review it. And all in all, if you were a group and you each reviewed every single piece that we presented up here, that would take about 11 and a half hours to go through all of it. If it were divided up, it might work a little bit differently, but we wanted you to know the intended use of all of them, which ones are our primary, which ones we've used pieces of in the past, and to know which ones are new. And so we submit those to you for your consideration. We have a Google folder with things in it for Sandra to share out whenever a committee gets appointed. So we're here for questions if you have.
So I'm going to add something about Texas School Procedures. That is copyrighted material. So she has asked that nothing be downloaded. If you honestly are the type of person that don't want to read on the screen and you need to print it off, just shred it when you're done. I am not a person that loves to read on the screen all day, but just make sure you shred it because it's copyrighted and she's very proud of it. It's years and years of work, and that's one of the services we pay for.
And it would be the same for the other materials, with the exception of the CFB created. One of our counselors created that, so it doesn't have a copyright, but the others like Texas Tech and Mental Health America, it would be the same.
Yeah. But there's a lot. The reason that it looks like that many hours is because we downloaded if there was a video that went with it, the link is there. We put everything that a child can possibly see, from surveys to descriptions to the actual lessons, so that nothing is left out, because we really want your opinion on whether you feel that you got what you used for. Okay. Any questions?
So this is just like one component of SEL curriculum, right?
Yes, it is just specifically for, let me go back and show you, we got it. SB 9 only covers child abuse, family violence, dating violence, and sex trafficking. We have lots and lots of curriculum that talks about, how to build healthy relationships, how to self-regulate, what does kindness mean, what is gratitude. Those aren't covered. But the topics that are covered, that's what we're sharing. But we actually have all of our curriculum that will be available anytime a parent wants to come up and look at it. You can always come up and view and see, because we have some really great curriculum.
So the difference is just because of the topics
Yes.
and this legislation
Yes.
that now has to be approved by committee.
It does. That's it. Yeah.
And okay, so you had the little matrix with all the explanations.
Yes.
Does that also include like grade levels that it's at?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's all listed. Yeah, good question. Yes. So actually, when I came about 3 years ago and I talked to the committee then about the next curriculum, for example, it
just for high school. It was very clear that it was just for high school. And a lot of parents were like, wait, no, we want something developmentally appropriate for our littles. So we have an elementary curriculum for Nest as well, and one for high school. So you'll see that clearly marked there. If you were looking at the high school curriculum and thinking of it for elementary, you'd be like, no, it's much different. So, yeah.
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Can y'all just hear me like this? Is this okay? Thank you. That's much easier. Okay, next we will appoint a special committee to review the public school instruction and materials regarding the prevention of child abuse, family violence, dating violence, and sex trafficking, and that are subject to opt-in in accordance with Senate Bill 9. And this committee will need to meet and review the following curriculum. And do y'all mind if I go ahead past this? I know y'all were looking at it. Okay. Okay, thank you. So we will review the following curriculum: the Texas School Procedures Guidance Lessons for Students, and it is copyrighted. CFBISD created condensed guidance lessons for students. Nest curriculum used in high school health classes. It is copyrighted. Texas Tech curriculum used in 2 CTE courses. It is copyrighted. And Mental Health America's World Health Organization guidance lessons and videos. And it too is copyrighted. Okay? The committee will propose a recommendation to the full SHAC at the February 9th, 2023 meeting. The SHAC will review the recommendations from the committee and submit a recommendation to the CFBISD school board. We would like to have a committee of at least 5 members, and the committee is open to non-appointed SHAC members. The committee meetings will not be open to the public. The committee members will receive access to the curriculum for review. We suggest that we schedule a meeting in mid-November to discuss. And so now we'd like to open it up to who would like to join this wonderful, innovative, impactful committee. All right. You getting all these names?
Yes. I got Jonathan. Oh, sorry.
Can I ask another question?
Please.
So if you're on the subcommittee, are you committing to reviewing all of the curriculum, or can the subcommittee decide to divvy it out?
It is up to the subcommittee as to how we decide to attack this adventure. But I will say, as somebody who has vetted much of this over the years, I know it's a lot of time and information, but it's great to get perspective on all of it, in my personal opinion, just because we all look at things through different lenses, and that's important. But it is truly up to the committee as a whole as to how we would like to divvy it up.
I'm going to just confirm the people I have: Jonathan Wilk, Kathy Rehoboth, Victoria Whitley, sorry, and Betsy McKinney. Did I miss anybody?
Anybody else? I know you're excited to. Don't forget me. I know I'm gonna get you back. All right.
April.
Yes. Thank you. We'd like to now open it up to the audience for guests. Do you have any guests who would like to speak tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I go back and
Yes, please.
typing? Can I add my name to the
Please. So, do we have any guests that would like to speak tonight?
I have not received any forms. I put them in the back, so I don't think so.
Okay. Wonderful. So the next SHAC meeting is on February 9th at 7 p.m. February 9th, 2023. That's so weird to say. At 7 p.m. With the topics brought forward at the last SHAC meeting, we are planning for the speakers for 2 remaining SHAC meetings this school year. There being no further business, anything? Okay. We will adjourn this meeting at 7:42. Thank you very much.